Episode number what, Ricardo? Yeah,
Oh,
go to
I
the
don't know.
introduction
I have
while
to
you
see
find
it.
the
I don't know.
introduction. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. We're at
Let's
19,
go.
16,
So
I'll
we're
tell you
actually
in a bit.
3 minute
In the
countdown.
shadow of the standing stone, I feel the memory of the earth. Voices rising from the ancient dark, calling fire into rebirth. The old ones speak through breaking light, through wind that carves the sacred lore. They lift the past into the present, to guide the path we walk once more. Bringing the past to the present, for a future fast in flame, where wisdom flows like rivers old, and the stones recall our name, where creation stirs like thunder, where the old universe draws near, and the awe of the wide and ancient sky cuts through doubt and fear.
Every heart beats a promise, carried forward from the start. Every sunrise holds a secret, hidden deep in who we are.
I feel the strength of all before me, ancestor, mountain, storm, and sea. Their power arises in my spirit, their knowledge walks with me. Bringing the past to the present, for a future fierce and true, where the wisdom of the ages flows in me and flows in you, where the stones awake in power, where the sky reveals the whole, and the wonder of the endless cosmos sets the fire in the soul.
Bringing the past to the present, so the future learns to shine in the dawn of life's great mystery. The ancient strength is mine.
Oh, we've got to work on that transition. Welcome, everybody. We are rocking and rolling with episode teen Samad, and at the end of what has been a long podcasting week, We're usually not on this time of night or this night, but we also, our audience might be slightly confused before I get to introductions because after Morgan Gumry, we had announced that we would not be taking other guests for a while other than a roundtable, but we had previous plans with Gary here, and we like to honor those, and we're extremely intrigued by his work. And as everyone here knows, we've already found ourselves smack in the middle of this Mars discussion, this Mars disclosure project, which we've been working with Brian Corey Dobbs, John Ward, thanks to Mike and Dave's Multiverse, the Institute, all pairing together, and others. And Ricardo may be frozen. So I'm going to get to introducing, there he's moving now, my guest this evening is Gary, also known as Mars Revealer. Gary is here to basically just show us some cool shit, guys. He puts a lot of time into this. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll just go from there. So, Gary, we're in no big rush here at the very beginning. We always give everybody a few moments to pop over. But why don't you just briefly introduce folks to who you are and kind of what you're doing here, and then we'll get into softly what we're going to see this evening.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me on, and hello everybody. You know, your crazy mad Martian Mars Revealer here. Yeah, quite the character, I'm told. But you know what? It doesn't matter because no matter who I am, what I look like, how I sound, it doesn't matter. What matters is the work that I do and the work that I present that's unique and a lot of it unprecedented, especially in modern days, of features that are there on Mars. And you know, I've been doing this since 1998, so damn, it's pretty close to 30 years now. You know, I was connected with the top names in the field. You know, Richard Hoagland, still friends with Dr. John Brandenburg. You know, Greg Molinar. I mean, there's so many of them. Dr. Mark Corralato. You know, just and everyone else in the field. Because I also, you know, over the years, I had started a radio show or an internet show. Well, it used to be radio. My flag was planted on the Space Coast. No one else could ever do that. No one else. I did right at NASA's front door, WMEL in Melbourne, Florida. So that was an amazing time, an amazing transition, especially as you know, broadcast airwave radio is transitioning over to streaming. I was one of the first ones, you know, bringing streaming forth, actually, especially the WMEL, made them transition everything, you know, so it was pretty cool. You know,
yeah, I'm reading like radio dude, all vibes all over you, man. I'm getting,
everyone says that.
I know several DJs and did back in the day. You know, I'm a little older myself. Where's that accent from, dude?
Long Island,
okay,
New York.
Yeah.
So, but you know, but I started, you know, just with the topic that you know is controversial. It's called, it still is called the Martian Revelation. The show's still going. It's kind of in a comatose stage. I was one of those ones with no money and nothing, and utilizing the freebies, and mainly the best ones that was able to be used was Skype, but you all know what happened to that, right, everybody? So now it's all about money, and it's about censoring, it's about quieting people up. But you know, like my friends here, you know, you got to talk. Freedom of speech is what rules, man. And we all have a right to know things. We have a right to question things. We have the right to investigate things because that's what makes us human. And unlike today's schools and colleges, of where you know it's just basically brainwashing and you know going through what they want you to know. And if you think out of the box, or they could either cast you out, you could lose tenure if you're in a position of that field, or you know, even in jobs or getting jobs, you have to adhere to what you're taught, not to what you think or what you want to question. You'll be out on your ass. You know what I mean? And that's not right. So the subjects with Mars, again, I got into it because of things that are publicly available that shown me there's things there that demand answers to questions, because when many people think of Mars, oh, they're always there for years, decades, looking for water. They're looking for water. They're finding water. They didn't find water. They're looking for water. They're looking for life. They're looking for life, but yet they admit, like a lawyer's behind them, you better fucking make sure you put in those articles. You put in those articles. We're looking for possible sign.
It's radio, dude. I told you, he's radio. You radio, Gary.
Look,
this is perfect.
Look, Gary. You find that in your field, but in most of the people we work with and talk to, no matter what the field is, they find the same resistance, the same problems in academic establishments that people can talk about this or can talk about that. Things as simple as we can talk about transatlantic travel before Columbus, right? Because people were dumb and didn't know how what a boat is. So
What's our area?
yeah, all of these things.
Right.
We work with all of those things. If you go, one of our last videos was with Brian Gomieri, that he's a student of many years of Tartaria and Scythia
Nice.
and all of those
I
things.
got to check that out. Cool. Cool.
Uh,
You know, I advise everyone that's listening to me that may not know of these guys, check out those videos because they got obviously a lineup and it's growing. And again, the time is coming for where these knowledges are going to come forth. They are coming forth. And it's being so obvious that we're obviously being lied to. You know, we're looking for science. They always say on the articles, what are the headlines always? They're looking for life. They're looking for life. But not ever since 1976, when they actually discovered life, positive signs of present life. Now, let me word that correctly. 4,000 miles apart with the Viking landers, synchronous, validated tests between the two for the positive signs. Granted, in science, like Dr. Gil Levin said, who made those experiments, as far as replication goes, what more do you need? But now with modern times, he wanted to send a microscope and some other things to really hash that positive findings out to prove once and for all. But NASA will not do it. So no, all these experiments and missions since 76, it's bullshit. They're only putting things on millions and billions of dollars, not to seek for life, but only to look for possible signs of possible past life. And that's all in the articles. Again, the lawyer over the shoulder. You better write that at your ass. You know, you can write what you want in the title. Most people don't read. We want them as an IQ and attention span as a guppy. You know, and it's bullshit. Because if you read the articles, you see, there it is. There's the catchphrase. Possible signs of possible past life. Never no definitives. But yet, they're dragging this on, and listeners to my show and me always say we're working on a turtleneck snail pace speed policy agenda, and it's not for our benefit, it's for theirs, and on what timetable, if they ever will, to bring these truths to us. And we'll be dead by a couple hundred years before that turtle crosses the line, you know. So I don't know, am I the hare in this race? You know what I mean? But that, because I'm running with the truth, I'm running for the truth, using their own data and confronting people to show them why do we have a flotilla of international craft to Mars? It ain't to just check the atmosphere. Was there life here or not? Is there microbes or not? No, it's because they're looking down there saying, holy shit, look at that. And I got plenty of examples to show, maybe you.
yeah, but
Speaking French, and they say, holy shit, look at that. Why don't NASA tell you about that? Because they're not allowed to, but it's coming out in the data, but they would never answer it. They'll obfuscate as much as possible if needed, or just ignore you or call you a crow. You know the routine, you know, and it's kind of disgusting. Because the truth of the matter is, you can see with your own eyes there's stuff going on down there. So that's why I got into this many years ago, and it started with the face of Cydonia. I'll let you all know, I am an expert on the face of Cydonia. I've been studying it since 1998. I know every nook and cranny of the details of the art sculpted features of the face, as well as what's all around it. And we're going to get into that. I got plenty
sure,
of
I
things.
hope so. I hope so. I just
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah, I hope so. Gary, your presentation might be pure 1980s radio DJ, but I haven't heard you be wrong.
Well, again, and everything I say, you know, love me, hate me, whatever, how I look, whatever, what no one, and I always tell people, prove me wrong, because you cannot prove me wrong with words, with whether you agree or not, or anything, or beliefs. You can only do that with data, because that's what I use, and that's what makes me speak the things I speak, because I got the data to back it up, you know, and that's the point, is data. I didn't take those images at Mars. But there's
Sure.
whatever's publicly available, like I said, whatever is publicly available, very important words, means there's a lot that's not. But what's publicly available, there's things that can be seen, and you can look down and say, like I'm going to do here in a minute, you got to pack them and smoke them to get through this shit, because you're going to say, holy shit, look at that. And if I'm wrong,
That's why they can't admit a mistake, man. You know, they can't just go with there can't be a, oh, whoops, you're right. We did totally lie in front and make everything up one time, because then all of a sudden it's, yeah, well, what about those other times? You know, they're just, they don't have a leg to stand on,
But
right?
it is, Jason, and you have to. Yeah, I'm seeing this pattern, hearing Garrick speak, and from our latest guests and our roundtable every Friday. It's the same stuff. Like someone is hired to go to the place and hide all the evidence and say, no, oh, nothing of this is real. Everything is a forgery.
Dude, what about
No evidence. And
Antarctica? Did you see that video that came out today? The dude went to Antarctica with a camera, and like they like won't let him turn the camera on. It's fucking wild. They're like, we got to take that. And like, why can't I come here with a camera?
Didn't you know that
can't.
ice is extremely secret? You cannot see ice. So
in that instance, fuck ice. That's the only way I say that. Fuck the ice in Antarctica, everybody.
We do not recommend that at all as a recreational process. Unless you're protesting the Antarctic Pact, which keeps us all from knowing precisely what's there. I don't know.
Penguins will even join us. I'm sorry. I'm sure those penguins are tired of us already.
Gary, take us on a journey.
Take us on a journey to Mars, bro.
All right.
Turn this into stand-up
Like
Saturday Night
it's
Live,
all
isn't
about
it?
control. Over all these subjects, it's all about control, and that's what sucks, because we have the tech, we have the means, we have the common sense. Yeah, they try dumbing everybody down. They want us all like bananas and rice, 58% IQ. The Leering Center. This is something that it's again not about beliefs, not about politics, though politics is controlling it. This is about data that can be seen. Now, what got me into this? The greatest techno signature ever to be seen. And I'm going to share screen here now. I think Ricardo showed me. Share.
Yeah, you can do it.
Screen. Window.
What he was alluding to with the bananas and rice comment there, it could be easily sworn up by Rockefeller's statement that he wanted a nation of workers, not free thinkers.
Oh, you know what?
What are we looking at, bro?
Think of that. But I knew someone had to throw that, that person a script. And, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was laughing. But anyway, I don't know if you see this image or not in front of us, gentlemen.
I do. Yeah, you're all good.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm just seeing that. I can't see.
Yeah, we're looking at Sidonia with a
Yes.
very good image of it.
This is Sidonia from 1976 of what we seen that year. Now, again, 1976 is a crucial year. It was a bicentennial year celebration in the United States. They even made quarters, bicentennial quarters, remember that? NASA, again, I mentioned Dr. Gil Levin. NASA went to him, asking him to help them put on an experiment for life experiments aboard the Vikings that landed, two of them, Viking Orbiter 1, Viking Orbiter 2. So they landed 4,000 miles apart, and I already gave that history. Now, not only did they able to land test for life, they had orbiters that would orbit the planet taking imagery. Now, they also detected this visage looking up at you from the surface. Hopefully you can see that, me zooming in okay. Yeah. And let me know, gentlemen, can you see my mouse?
Absolutely.
You see a mouse going around the face?
Absolutely. Yep.
Gotcha. All right, what about now? All over the place. Right?
Purple and all over the place. Yep, I got you.
So that was 1976 to an analog TV type camera system. Over here is the famous, what's been called the city, with the city square, considered right here in the middle of this cluster of objects. Okay, and you may have known of Richard Hoagland's work and others. You would see all geometrical, mathematical diagrams, tetrahedral geometry all over the place, yada, yada, yada.
It's all that stuff. I know the face is wild, right? But it's all the stuff to the left, all the pyramid down at the bottom. it's all of that that looks like, a scan of South America that just adds, well, to my eye anyway, adds
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah,
artificiality
but
to the landscape.
the scale is enormous, right, Gary? We're talking between the Diamond pyramid and the face. We're talking about what distance?
Well,
It's
I'm
like the
not.
state of Texas, right?
I didn't bring anything out of the D&M tonight. We will in next show with the
No,
next
it's just to
batch.
give an idea of that area or where all of that is placed. What is more
For,
or less the distance where
for,
we can?
for instance, this D&M pyramid here is 2.5 to 3 miles huge. The face is 1.5 mile long from top to bottom. Is 1.5 miles, 1 mile wide, 1,500 feet high. It has height. Everything you're seeing on this surface, it's not flat. All right, so when you look at Google Earth, everyone you looked at it, you say, "Oh, great! Look, oh, that's how it really is." No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a flat plane. It's not a flat place. All those little nooks and crannies you see around the face on the surface everywhere, that's the actual surface relief detail. It's not sand. It's not dunes.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost lidar-like. It's almost lidar-like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're
You
seeing.
you can tell when you zoom back out just a little bit, like just a hair. Okay, see, like even from there, I can tell the depth of like these craters around them is shallower than the structure called the face, right? So yeah, I can get the depth necessary, but it's the
Yep,
scale,
right.
that these things are miles across that are just cool as shit, one way or the other.
Well, let's say this crater here. This has got to be at least, if the face is a mile wide, you could fit it here. So it's greater than quarter mile, less than half a mile. This so-called crater, right? And it's not very shallow as you'd think, but you'll see that a little later. But this is incredible for what it shows, because what this does show is that Mars' surface is not flat, especially not Cydonia, nor is the face. Again, boom. Now this is a better process view of the face. Hopefully you can agree to that. There's more detail being able to be brought forth. And that's what I wanted to focus on mainly, though, was the relief around the face when I did this. But it just made the face look better. But also I could see the art runs away from the face, continuing on with everything, with all the rest of the art, in which the face is actually not just structured within, but fused within the artscape of. Does that
You
make
know,
sense?
you know
That,
what's strange, Ricardo? Excuse me, Gary. I'm going to make a side note here to my partner. You know what's strange, dude? And I'm not, audience, I'm not saying anything here. It just pops in my head, okay? So, out in my mouth. It's called live shows. Listen, you remember that artifact that Lee Pennington had? And he had what what kind of looked like he called a priest or a Templar knight?
Yes.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I see.
I see that.
Now I see what you see. Yeah, yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
can be so many things, but I can see the face within the
Oh
hood.
yeah, I'm just having fun, letting the
I
third
can
eye
see
go.
the face within the hood. Yes, I can.
Right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. The face within the hood. Okay, continue, Gary.
yeah, well, anything to help. Again, pack them and smoke them too, because when you do that, the hand of brainwashing comes off, and it helps your eyes. No, I'm serious.
It
And
does. It does help your eyes. It does. It increases
there's
your
an,
field of vision and so on.
there's an astronomer, I can't mention his name because he told me this early in the early 2000s. He uses it, and he's a big name in astronomy. That's all I'll say. He uses it, and then he, like I say, pack him and smoke him. And then he sees stuff better. He's able to hone in on things or notice things that he didn't see before that. So there's a perception thing, and plus it lets the hand the brainwashing off. That's
Same
why they
reason,
hate. That's why they
same
hate
reason
weed.
Samurai, right? Samurai. It was samurai that used used it as well for that same reason. The focus.
Well,
That
it's
it gives.
presumed that hunter-gatherers were the first to use because they noticed that the field of view and the distinction between colors, the contrast was enhanced, and the sense of luminosity at night also enhanced. That's why astronomers likes it, because it increases it dilates your pupils a little bit more, and it allows you more lights to come in. So.
Oh, so you heard about that before, Ricardo?
Yeah, yeah,
Astronomers.
yeah, yeah. I was into
Of course they
amateur
do.
astronomy for many years, so
There you go. So you could concur with what that gentleman told me. Again, I can't mention his name. They'll probably throw him out on his ass.
sure,
You know.
no need, no
So,
need.
but anyway, So yeah, more details. So again, it helps bring out more of the surrounding features, which is the relief itself. I process these from the raw data, so there is no. It's not the JPEG. Those aren't image artifacts. Those aren't JPEG artifacts. That's the actual features of the surface. So what could be seen at that resolution, but it shows many features to which this data, I call data points. I like to match up with more higher resolution imagery to concur with you're seeing in lower resolution. Does that make sense? And therefore, that's how you learn and study about the details, not just of the face, but surrounding features by studying multiple images. A lot of people don't like to look at the low res images because they think they know what the hell they're looking at when they see the high res, and they don't. They still believe NASA's view. They're putting out flat images of the face that happens to change shape over time. We'll show that too. But so let me move
Very
on.
curious about that. We talked about that before.
Yeah, we've come across that anomalous fact before on the show. So yeah, continue.
All right, so this is good shit. So this is 7813. The last image that we looked at, I should have said that before, was for 35A72. Orbit 35. Once it arrives, its orbit number, you know how many times it circled the planet, everybody. Again, there's guppies. But here we. I don't think you people are guffies though. If you listen to the Shaman and the Philosopher here, So and this
Nice recovery, bro.
whatchamacallit, so now Orbit 70, because after the first one, there's a story. NASA said, oh, it's a trick of light and shadow. You sons of bitch. It's a half truth, guys. It's actually
Getting worked up.
I do. It's actually a half truth because whoever did this shit was a master of the knowledge, not just of art and geometry and math, high forms of math, etc., but of light and shadow, and using both of those, all the above, to create
yeah.
their surfaces and structures.
Dude,
Now,
I've got rocks here behind me, right? What people would call rocks, but you call them native art. And what I learned early on, sitting around the fire, one of the coolest things, man, was that as you were around the fire, the art itself would change when you were using the shadow, right, from the fire, right? You could then see other figures in it, and you could realize, holy shit, these people did sit around a fire every single night of their lives for thousands and thousands of years. I guess I'm not seeing things. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, that's a very cool thought, and thanks for reminding me of that.
and it's all over. Now again, this is from Orbit 70 now, so 70th time, because when NASA said, when they seen this one, oh, we took an image a few hours later, and it showed it disappeared. They never showed the image. They just wanted, it was all, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Trick of light and shadow.
So now this image we came to find by my friend Vince DiPietro and Greg Molinar. They looked through the archives of Viking to look for any other images, especially of the face. Well, they found this misplaced in a different image in a physical archive, a physical image and a physical archive at Goddard. So now they were like, oh, why is this misfiled? It's supposed to be in the 70 files for the 70th orbit of Viking. Why is it in this one? Look, it's the face. Oh, wow, it looks like it didn't disappear. And look, it's showing more details because we're not having the famous shadow. Oh, crap. Right?
Yeah.
And
That map right there, man. See, here's what gets me. And not to interrupt you, please keep going, but just to add to what you're doing here. So not only the face, but like everything up there around it, that big flat plateau-y looking thing, the little round, all of those structures. If I were you may not know about my work, but I like to find mounds out in the woods that haven't been documented, and all kinds of weird shit out here, right? And
that's
so
fun.
yeah. So LiDAR is used often. If I saw this shit, I would be on my way there, So when I then see all of this in a flat terrain around this anomalous face, whatever, if it is, if it isn't, I still see a lot of questions. That's what's intrigued me about, working with you guys that study this, is I'd never really seen around the face. Everybody knows the face. You saw it on Time Magazine or whatever, right? Growing up, But then seeing all this stuff around it with this knowledge I already have of kind of LiDAR here on Earth is what just has me sort of on the hook, with the whole Mars deal.
Indeed. Indeed. And it makes you open your mind and eyes because the things we find here on Earth are fucking huge. And we can't even duplicate them, let alone take them apart and figure out how to put them back together again, And we have shit here on Mars, not only that in some cases might resemble, it's definitely archaeology, there's differences. This is a much huger scale, but they have their own way of doing things. Is there a correlation between Earth and Mars? Maybe, maybe not. We need a lot more input and a lot more data, though people do have their theories based on certain facts they want to, that in their opinion leads them to those opinions, but we still need a lot more. There's a lot more questions the more answers we get, right guys? So
That's right. I like starting with questions. I like the fact that there's just so many damn questions posed by just looking at this planet,
and again, here's a better view of D&M. Now remember, this is 1976. Now from then we didn't get any other images until 1998, and we'll get into that. So this a better processed version of the face.
And do you know what
Yeah.
those, when you went down, I saw a straight line. Is that a depression on the field? No, on the other one. That's one. You
The
see
line-
that straight? No, no, down a little bit, down a
Line
little
here?
bit. No, no, down a little bit. That one, above
This
that
one?
mountain. No, that there. Do you see that line?
Yes,
No, no,
I think
it's diagonal, like pointing to 10 o'clock.
this.
Yes.
Yes, that's really there. That's a part of the relief of the artscape. A lot of these features, they connect to each other. But in order to see that, you have to take time and study the honeycomb, the master ornate handiwork of the carving artisan behind all this, laid out all this stuff. All of these, what Hoagland lay out in the book, the Monuments of Mars, with the triangles, connecting the features. Think of that on a scale of 1,000,000. Even all these features having that same thing, those same aspects, is in its artscaping, is in its art
like
sculpting.
like Nazca lines, but carved on the rock instead of built on top of the earth.
Nazca by 1,000,000.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, but just to give an idea what I'm talking. Yes.
And I think another end for everybody that's watching or listening is also like native mounds, right? Because what I see is I think of Poverty Point, right, where I've got this central mound and all these concentric rings, right? Well, they've also found that the central mound of that point is somehow anchored fucking miles, like, I don't know, 10 miles. I don't know. You'd have to look up the number. Don't quote me, right? But miles away, a site you would think is not associated. They find that it was anchored to that mound,
Yeah,
right?
they
So-
line up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all. I think that's kind of what we're talking about is once you start-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Layout. We could call them layouts.
like,
all right?
like a complex versus a random occurrence of things.
Right.
Okay,
Now-
go ahead, man.
So there's another more processed view because I wanted to focus more on what's the important thing of the face. It's shape. It's shape. And not one single researcher over time, besides Dr. Maura Carlotto, had done anything to try to reveal its true shape. All right. So not even NASA, will show that. If you want to consider that an attempt, well, that's on you, but it's bullshit. So there's a better process view, bringing out more detail of this, of that's there, because its shape is important, right? So boom. Now from 1976 to 1998 is when we received this. From the Mars Global Surveyor, the first time we've seen imaged the face since 1976 that's been publicly available. Why do I say that? Because the mission, the orbiter that was sent before Global Surveyor, it was in 93, called the Mars Observer. It got to Mars, and it went dead precisely at 6 p.m. No, nothing strange there, George. And it went black. Let's just say it. It went black. All right, so they made a redo of that. Not as expensive, not as much stuff it had, but using kind of the same camera capability. And they sent Mars Global Surveyor. Okay, so 1998, as it,
They called Mars the Jinx planet, right? Because so many missions go well, and all of a sudden, as soon as they reach the planet, poof.
they used to joke about some great galactic ghoul that would prevent missions from going there. So now in 1998, when the Global Surveyor was going into orbit when it gets there. It's called aerobraking. And they took this image during the aerobraking process, which, again, and I believe this is because of the shape. I'll explain why later if I have the chance. But they looked at an angle way over yonder, looking down an angle to grab this view. Plus, it is squished. It's a compressed image. It's not even the actual width it's supposed to be, but you'll see. But anyway, and
Proportion ratio is incorrect, is what you said.
the ratio.
Proportion ratio is incorrect because it's
Correct.
stretched or
Correct. And yeah, and there was a lot more scratch marks all over it. Even though this looks like shit, it looks better than actually how they presented it. It looked even worse. So, but I just want to go here as an example because this is pretty much unchanged. It's just cleaned up a little bit. But I still seen a face, kind of bizarre because I wasn't too used to what to expect when I was first looking at this in '98. Now, of course, the so-called crater down here, and even that's out of proportion. That's what it looks like compared to how it should look. Now, so that's how they made the face look, because they went, oh, look, it ain't a face at all. It's just, you see, I told you, it's nothing there. It's natural. They try to make it look as natural as possible by giving you a shitty, squished, out of proportion image and making it as a fact that that's how it is. Yet, some time later, this is the ortho-rectified corrected version. Wow, what happened to the crater? Look, now it's a roundish. You can see the face, but it still looks to the side. Why? Because that's not a nadir image. Nadir means directly above. This is an off-nadir image. During aerobraking, it's taking an image looking down at an angle at it, and therefore it helps obfuscate things. Now, to me, though, I still see all the art in it, because this image.
I'm intrigued by that constant 90-degree angle or so. Yeah, I mean, that right there along the sort of, I guess you'd call it the rim of the face, between the face and if it had a helmet on. That straight line, and then it's almost 90-degree turns.
Yeah, and he has those
and
groups,
then the other side.
those groups of dark lines on the left ridge.
No matter which image you showed me, even the squishy one, that held true. That's still there.
Can you zoom in a little bit, Gary? To the left.
That's all the way left.
Are those lower? Almost at the chin. Yeah, there. You see those? Those elevations, like striations on the.
You're seeing the carved features. That's not image artifacts. I processed this image from the raw myself. No JPEG, no artifacts. All those lines and crevices and nooks and crannies you're seeing. Look, with this image, it took me several months. Literally, I enlarged it some, and I was literally tracing over every line and nook and cranny of this thing, and I was like, holy shit, this whole thing's artistically sculpted. It blew me away. Even tattooists, friends of mine, would concur, and it blew them away. Now, they like to say it's natural. Well, how come NASA doesn't bring out the relief so strong that we see is clearly there? But that's the story of the first image in '98, how we got it, the so-called cat box. It was called cat box because Art Bell said it looks like a kid. He took a shit in it, and that was Art Bell. So, but when it was ortho-rectified, NASA didn't, of course, say, "Oh, we gave you a screwed up image," because this one looks much better and more close to the face than this heap of crap, right? Would you agree at least to that?
Yeah. That's
regardless whether you see a face or not.
Stretched or compressed by the side, something.
Right,
and we can look at the crater and see exactly how it is compressed.
Yeah.
On the other one. Because the crater tells us.
Hey guys, that's what it looks like. And now it's like, hey man, no, hey guys, So it's really incredible, these features of the details of this thing. Now, so that's how the cat box was saying. That's how this, again, since '76 up until 2000. I mean, why do I keep saying that? 1998. This is what we got. So, boom. Now, Dr. Moore Carlotto, what I just explained to you about aerobraking, looking down sideways, imaging it, this is his ortho rectification right here, the face, obviously, that we just looked at. And then he used the 70A13 face and transformed it to show you, like the example, how would it look if you're looking at it from an angle, and that's what they were doing. But we can still clearly see that here. But if you don't really know the face, because they were trying to convince you this was directly above the face. But yet again, in the article, that's where it always gets you. You better be sure you tell us during arrow breaking, I mean, it's because they know most people won't read. All right, so therefore it shows, Dr. Corralato showed that what I just described is accurate. Now, 2001, right? We get the full-on face image. High resolution from Mars Global Surveyor. Now, before this time in 1998, before 1998 and 2001, they gave us a couple images of the face, but like half of it cut out of the image, and it looked like a peekaboo, like it was peeking a boo at you, because they cut the rest, and it looks like a dude peeking around the corner. I was like, these guys are assholes. They're doing it on purpose. I see you, and, teasing us. And then 2001, we get the full on. Now, I was very impressed. Again, if you're not familiar with the details, it's harder to see because it's so huge. You think you're looking at rocks and stuff. But even with this, if you tune in more, or maybe pack a bowl or two, you'll start seeing all these lines, these striations that crisscross everything, that go places. Don't let the light hues and the grays fool you. These are all etched relief, carved relief. And that's the important, especially of the eye. Look at the eye. The eye also has like a pupil, and it's not just a round eye, but it's rounded sculpturally. So it's sculpted. There's shape to this. We're going to get into that because there are people that want to discount that reality because it destroys their theories or what they want to put in their books. And I was told, well, we won't get into that now. Let's just say this. Please show me I'm wrong. Bring forth the data. Let's have collaborative scientific discussion publicly. That's all I'll say. All right. So, all right. It's like, oh, wow. Well, that's definitely much better than this, I mean, but obviously, we're understanding Dr. Carlato's. Okay, fine. And now we see this makes more sense. So with Carlato and what I just told you is accurate. Would you concur, gentlemen?
Yes, I think I
okay.
Considering that I looked at many times at this image, I even have it in a little bit more modern than this in yellow. That is the official IRES that they sent. And I couldn't see much. And with the help of this one, it helps me to see what I was not seeing on the other one.
Well, this is after I remember, I processed the raw data myself. So I'm not using NASA imagery to try to bring out things because what they do to it helps obfuscate features. You cannot really bring the original features back. You might be able to enhance it, to get a better idea of what's around it. You can't really peer through everything. But anyway, so this is
when you zoomed in the eye,
yeah.
Okay, zoom a little bit more and center it a little bit more. Jason, you'll be able to get used to this.
Do you notice something, gentlemen?
Look
Do you notice something?
Follow the line, beneath the line straight that makes the pupil. You see that the stone is let's say carved in relation to the other surface. So the lower is into the stone, creating a sort of a parapet. I don't know how to say it in English. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like
the lower part is more
edge.
Carved. It's not straight.
It's carved at an angle, rounded.
Yeah, right. It's not straight.
To give it form. So it's not a two-dimensional image. Right? And therefore, it's not flat. It's not a geoglyph per se in the natural sense that we would think of it. It's not like, the spider on a Nazca plane. Now, notice the pupil. Follow this mouse. Angle, 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 angle. A hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides. The pupil is a hexagon. Now, isn't that interesting? Can you gentlemen see that? If not, well, let's go to the next better processed one, because I wanted to show you in stages from a basic process when I do it to a little bit better. Oh, shit. From a little to a little bit better. Does this help you see what you were seeing better?
Yeah.
Last image or not? Would you agree, yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to see what I'm seeing. What I know, I know what I'm seeing. But you're seeing
what I'm seeing is
detail.
what
That's
I
it.
never seen before in these images is the texture of the surface.
Because they make it so smooth, don't they?
Yeah.
They try to make it so, smooth, as natural to make it look as possible. Believe me, I have to go through hoops when I'm processing, and I still could even do more on these. There's more hoops. It's like there's stuff in the way that I have to go through other features or sections to bring out what's behind it. And that's telling me that's not normal. But, that's my conspiratorial bent. But I do have success, obviously, bringing details out from the raw data. So how much can one bitch at NASA? If they have things applied to the raw data to make it hard, obviously they're making it if someone knows what they're doing or wants to waste their life away on this to figure this shit out. And when they do, more power. But yeah, that's where here I am now. I'm cursed or blessed.
I think when you
I've
scan
kind of-
out, when you pan out, the sort of square, that goes around this thing, the shape, right? No matter, and I thoroughly enjoy looking, to drive home to everybody, again, you're looking at something a mile, 2 miles, north and south, a mile wide,
A
something
mile
like
and a
that.
half. A
Right,
mile and a half.
It's massive, so it's like, it's like looking at a mountain, basically.
Right. I see rocks. It's a mountain. Well, so is fucking Mount Rushmore. What's your point?
What
It's
what
stupid.
would drive me crazy either way is this squareness that is taking place around this thing, and then this where it seems like stuff has been falling away, right, and piling up as it's going down. That is the only way that's nature is if that's decay from something that wasn't nature. If it were here, if I were looking out in the desert of, wherever, or in the rainforest.
Which tells us something important. This could have been a one time
It's not a random hill,
real thing. And then, but whatever or whoever came upon it and carved the shit out of it. Mount Rushmore, best example. Then they look at you like you're crazy. Now, here's another view. Because again, I wanted to give you at least 3 different views from this after I basically process it. I call it clean. Now I could work with it. I could work with different things. I always save the original, right, from my raw. Then, boom, I bring out more detail of the surface
we can
relief.
even see the round eye, the base of the eye.
Bingo. Both eyes even. And notice this eye has a pupil too. You can follow the lines. And that's all it is. It's all about. You got to follow the lines. Follow it and, trace it out. They don't want you doing that. But, and again, yeah, let me see. I zoom in. Does that help you a little more? For certain aspects, it might not be as crisp as this, but I wanted to, again, focus on what the actual shaping is of the sculpture. And there's reason for that. You'll see soon. But look at that. And again, like you said, you can still make out the shaping, the rectangular square, right? The triangular X-like pattern, like, a pyramid. I had someone named Charles Sellier, and I won't explain all about that now, but he said to me one time on my show, The Martian Revelation, it appears to me, Gary, now mind you, think. He's a 33-degree Mason. He's telling me to mind you. That means think! So, and he goes, mind you, Gary, to me, the fascination of the faces of Mars, to me, is that they appear to be pyramids as well. What a thought-provoking aspect. A facial pyramid. A facial pyramid.
The function can be exactly the
Again,
same.
you notice yourself the shaping. Dr. Mark Carlotto lays out the triangular aspects to it, but I could see it in the art, and I'll be laying out my own in time. I didn't put it in my latest book, but there'll be other studies. You have geometry about this, though both sides of the face obviously do not look alike. They're two faces fused in one, but with holding the techno signature of the geometric intelligence that laid it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now this is a Mars Odyssey image. I'm showing this because it's the best Mars image Odyssey. It's the best Odyssey image that and an image Odyssey too. It's like an Odyssey. So that is casting. Also, it's starting to cast a shadow like you see in 35A72, but it's just starting. No other image we have gotten from any space organization that shows off the shadow to replicate the 1976, except for Mars Express. I didn't have it here. I took it out. But it's by Mars Express, low resolution, but you could clearly see the shadow at a different position than the 35A72. But it's much smaller than, it's like this. And it's like, holy crap. But at least we got an image. But that shows the shadows real, and they obviously are able to see them. They're just not giving us the images. But anyway, look, this is the...
that shadow shows an obvious point. The one on the, what is that, 4 o'clock of the face? Yeah,
right.
I mean, that so my light's coming from the left. I can see that on the rest of the features. And that's showing quite a point right there.
Light's coming from this way.
Yeah.
So, from like the between 9 and 10 position. So that's casting that. Now, I'm showing this because you could, even though I processed this from the raw, it looks better than how NASA processed it. You can see the surface relief, the lines, the faint art etchings, better than in the original. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? But it's clean. And I was so impressed. I was waiting for more than a decade for them to give me an image like this. Okay? So this was given to us a couple years ago. So here's Mars Express at the same quality resolution, give or take 1 or 2 bits, frame, and also stereo camera. Notice all its details. And again, I focused on the details in the relief to make even stronger, accentuated for those of the visually impaired. Again, pack them and smoke them. Because when you do and you look at this, you should be like, what the hell am I looking? Wow. Well, yeah, you follow all the detail. All this is art sculpted. There's a lot of straight lines. And then once you begin to see it all, you can, again, draw that out. You can have a field day. Have fun. Download these images. Press, screen captures, play around with it yourself, you artists, and prove me wrong. You won't be able to. But this is Mars Express. Now,
that's a pretty firm challenge there, artists.
Here's Mars Express.
Send your mail to @SaharaCosmos on X.com.
Here, now look at the detail difference. Now the blame for this is not entirely on NASA. It's the quality of picture and the fact. Would you agree? There's a lot more detailed relief you can see in this than
because
this?
it's a stereo image. You can see the.
Not only that, they got something else on board. They have something that could see the tattoo that we're not seeing so easily in this one. Now, would we see it if we had a stereo camera? Possible, but we need to see that to the test because I have to go through a process to reveal the details in this. That is there. I mean, it is if you zoom in and you compare and finally match them, the data points, like let's say this thing doesn't match up with the other. And then you try to fill looking back and forth to see what's in between. You know what I mean? So you can see that at least it's correlating each other, proving it's not image artifacts. Now, check this out. So here you go. So to show you what I just described, guess what I decided to do? I made a fusion. There you go. And you can still see the little shadow being cast off. Here you can't, right? Here you can, obviously, because it's a fusion of the two images that I processed from the raw versions, lined it up, did did a certain percentage of ratio to blend them together, so it creates a better vision of the face than any space agency gave us, because now we're using an international spacecraft image, same quality resolution as Mars Odyssey from ASU, from NASA. You blend them together so each image collaborate with each other to give us a more accurate view of its details. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, and this is what you get. Notice all those details from the Odyssey image alone. We're able to see more of the relief, right? You know, and it's I wanted it to be seen. I call it clean, because as I get better, and I am, and I will, this is even going to become more crisp. I guarantee it. Now, than what it is. And no one, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your butt or patting myself on the back, I am the only one that is processing these images, especially of the face, and revealing it's not natural. There's not sand and dirt. If anything, heavy metal.
And there's the radio DJ again.
What? Now, well, when you compare this to the Viking face, I don't want to go all the way back to it, from the 7813, you can see these features here. Every feature matches up. So when people say, oh, you know, that's the first image, but NASA destroyed it with a nuke, when they're covering everything up, bullshit. You just don't know what you're looking at, and you don't know how to process the images, and you don't know how to study it, because most people don't even know what they're looking at, but I do,
Okay,
because
so
right.
you're against the argument that perhaps it has been destroyed or something
Correct.
since the original. Okay.
If that was the
'Cause
fact,
I've heard the same thing.
we would
before.
not we would
In
not
the
have
circles.
we would not have a consistent, unbroken artistical detailing. It would be all chaotic. It's like saying, hey man, great tattoo you got. Next thing you know, some cat comes up to you, you know, rips the shit apart. You know, you can tell, hey, that's been broken by an event. You know, we don't have that here. The art of the relief itself that covers the face and makes the face is also covering and making up the entire surface features around it, connecting everything to each other, sculpting it. And remember, it's not flat. It's beveled like an ornate jewel. Now, you guys ever remember in the malls years ago, you go into these cool stores and there's those pewter dragons.
Elevation involved.
Yeah, but you know those yeah. those pewter, you know how they're carved so ornately, like, you know, every angle shows off no matter in the light, it throws all these different reflections this way and that, because it's so ornately carved. That is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, it looks,
And
to
that's
me,
the-
it looks
and
like
that's the-
scarification on the skin. Those tattoos that are made of scarification that leave those dimples on the skin,
Oh yeah.
those small squares. Looks lots of those things in there.
So I just want to show, there you go, Mars Express, Mars Odyssey, both collaborating each other's data, that the data must therefore be real if all the data points are matching up, and getting an unprecedented view that neither one would give us. So technically, I gave us another unprecedented image. By using two other images, fusing them, you're creating, it's still valid, therefore, hey, we got a new image release. And people wouldn't be the wiser unless you explained it to them, like I just did. So there you go. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm like, okay, and there's a lot of detail. So this is modern from 2012, but from the MRO, Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter Context Camera, right? So, and this image is very unique. I want you guys to keep this in mind of where we're going to go, because it is the only image ever taken of any face of Cydonia that allows us to get its true shaping. And it's because of something, a science called photoclinometry. In order to get the best view of anything, the pyramids, you know, Eiffel Tower, you know, Ricardo, and you know, what's your name again, man?
Jason.
Jason, looking up at you. You know, that, to get an accurate rendering of a 3D of you, your face looking up, or something so twisted, hey, you know, because you need the right position of the sun, which is the science, in order make with an image. I call it the invisible data that allows us to render an accurate 3D shape from shading of the face, and it's the only one. We're going to get into that. Now, notice this image. you can still see a pupil even better in this side.
Right.
You can see a pupil. He's like, wow, man. Over here, yeah, he's like, I see you. So and
Yeah.
You've got all these details again. So this is less resolution than Mars Global Surveyor, but it's higher resolution than Odyssey and Mars Express. So and high rise, even higher resolution. But all right, now when you said yellow image,
Yeah,
did you mean this, Ricardo?
it's very similar to that, if that's not it.
That
Probably that one, yes.
Well, it would have to be, because in 2007, NASA did a campaign using ESA, Mars Express image data, like the Mars Express image I showed you. So ESA ran with all their stuff, putting their links up. They made a collaborative hit piece where ESA just put up links and images. No comments. No comments. Mike Malin, graybeard of Island Space Science Systems, and NASA took control of all article policy. Oh, it proves it's not a face, it's natural. Everyone was so focused on something we're going to look at here, again, which leads to shaping that they tried to fool us with using this color data, which, gentlemen, this is from Mars Global Surveyor. I'm going to file a FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, and a Data Quality Act. But the FOIA, I'll leave alone about the data quality. But the FOIA, the Freedom of Information, why didn't he release this color image data along with the 2001 gray, black and white version that this image is? This is the image they used for 2007 hit piece in order to put to bed, kill the discussion to ever officially discuss it or even call it the face on Mars ever again. Ever since this hit piece,
Really?
it has been called popular landform in Cydonia region. Then it became terrain sample in Cydonia region. Now it's called a mimetolith, which is like pareidolia. They give you hey, I see a face. You don't, bigot. You know what you see? What? I see your face. Smack. No, you don't. You had pareidolia. And now my metolith. What are those, man? Oh my God, is it catchy? Am I gonna fall off? No, shut up, bigot. You have what you're seeing as a face because you are a human, natural, not dilemma, handicapped as it was, to that it makes you see faces. It's a natural human defect that makes you think you see faces. And, and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying is true. How many years, when you talk about the face, you have some asshole go, oh, it's pareidolia. Yep, case closed. Here's a NASA link. Goodbye, debunks. Get the fuck, what? No, it ain't. I mean, it's a face because it looks like I got little 1-year-olds looking at it that would come in the room of my children in the past and other friends' children or anyone where I'm at. Face! And they're pointing right at it. Oh! You better get him some Xanax. Take him to the nut doctor. Put him on some, hormone changing transessual thinking pills, because they don't want him seeing a face. You're defected with something. What does that sound like, gentlemen? Sound familiar? So it's like disgusting because it's a face.
Well,
out.
it sounds like gaslighting. Is what
There
it
you
sounds
go.
like.
Lighting some gas. I smell something funky. So the problem with this is that color. The color data they never gave us, but they used in 2007. Pull it out of his drawer for a hit piece. No one says nothing about the color except me, even the Hoagland, to everyone else. We were all part of the same team then, right? And no one wanted to follow Gary. It's okay. I had one guy. Keith Laney, believe it or not, who tried telling me, oh, that's Mars Express color data later. Bullshit. I know the difference between Global Surveyor camera colors and Mars Express. Why? Mars Express is red, green, blue. What's Mars Global Surveyor? CMYK. You could tell the differences comparing this image to their color images that they also put out in that hit piece. Remember, I said ESA gave you the list of all sorts of links, even a perspective view that did not look like how NASA made their 3D view look like, mind you. But again, They didn't say nothing. They just put out links. Like it was a joint mission for them by policy to do so under NASA's control. And then when they make a public thing to share their data, they just shut up. It's under control of NASA wording where they said, this is it, case closed. Oh, is it really? Oh. Well, here's what I was able to bring out in that color that you can never do for Mars Express color. Now, mind you, this is more approximate than red, green, blue. This is more approximate than what you would expect to see from the true colors of the face, so it's pretty damn close. And gentlemen, I don't know about you. Does that look like a mountain or a hill or a mesa? Or me, I'm seeing that thing is full of gold, metal, and all sorts of pretty colors of material that should not be there. Or people would say, oh, it looks like a lot of grass or the green parts.
Where do the colors come from?
They're in this data. This is what they obfuscate. You can faintly see them. You can faintly see the purples and greens and pinks, right? You can faintly see if you have good eyes. All right? Now remember, I had to screen grab this from a video that they put out because this is the beginning of a video like a minute long that just shows this thing spinning around, showing what they wanted us to believe is its true shape. You tell me, people, in a minute. If am I high? You got that right. But am I stupid? Am I inebriated? You tell me when you think what you believe is real and what's not. Color or black and white. Anyway, so they gave us this image. So that means the higher crispness of the image we looked at earlier with the high resolution, I show you 3 samples. That's obviously better quality because that was from the full-size image. This is from a video screen. So I can only do as best as I can. I think it's pretty damn good considering what I was able to pull out of it. And look, it changes even the perspective of that, doesn't it? Or am I talking crap? You can be free with me if you don't believe it or see it. I'm not going to yell at you.
No.
You know, but
I understand what you're telling me is that is somehow through some technical process, which I'm sure I don't understand, you're using some software or something to grab the data that is in the photo that represents these colors and
to bring it out.
And you're bringing out this. Yeah, I'm following.
So
Which
Gary,
means what? Why am I doing this shit? We're not getting what we should be seeing from them. It should be them doing it. It's our money that pays them to do it. Oh, so that's what means
yeah,
what?
that's a common theme we've run into.
It's that time now, Malin.
Is that they're releasing these pictures, you know, just en masse of all kinds of anomalies, not just this face, all over the planet. You know that it's left up to other people to take a look at and try to decipher.
So everyone in 2007 was focused on this, not the color. Even with me bringing out the color process, some people said at Hoagland's site, yeah, it's pretty. But look at that bump. Look at the bump on the head. That's not there. Even ESA's version of the Mars Express they released on the same HitPeed page, you can see there's no bump. But there is a bump there in reality to its true shape. I'll just throw this as a hint for what we're going to see. But it's not that, and it's not in that spot. It's not far from it, but they're totally misrepresenting it because they goofed on the shape of the face anyway. They put it like on... Remember the computer graphic games where you use image splash? You build a wireframe, set it to how you want, and then you put an image on it, and then it just adheres to whatever that wireframe is supposed to adhere to, shape-wise, or you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's what they did to this. That ain't scientific, okay? But everyone was freaking out about this. But notice
How's it
this.
going, Amy?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes. Oh, that's just our chat. Yes. Gary worked at one point with Richard Hoagland. Yes, he was.
I was connected with him. I was like a son to him. We'll leave it at that, Anyway, but he did. God bless him. He gave me permission to use. Actually, having to deal with this issue, how to make a mountain. How to make a mountain out of a molehill based on the mola, which is they said they used to make this true shape, but it's bullshit. Okay, and Hoagland spelled that out in the article. It's in the book that I just put out, The Faces of Mars, Beyond Mere Tricks of Light and Shadow. Please get it. I can use all the blessings. I don't have a publishing company. It's all by word of mouth. I got a product out. That's the best to do. I can only use God to help, and you people to feel if you touch the purchase of the book, let alone don't study it and understand what the revelations are coming upon you of disclosure. All right, so that's how they gave it out.
What's a texture wrap, Ricardo?
What?
Or Gary? You just highlighted a comment from a guest from somebody in our chat that said texture wrap. What is
So
that,
texture
Ricardo?
wrap is when you put something on top of the surface that highlights by reflection every single elevation or depression or mark or. So
In
it helps you.
in this case, like a video game. Remember the video games? You know, the square hallways, the square people, all that shit. They would make like a 3D wire frame, and then whatever image they splash on it, it would take that basic frame, and you know, it would look like it has details on it, but it wouldn't be real details because that it's not the data. That is a wire frame, just an image is being splashed on. Does that make sense? Sure. And that's what they did here. And the way that this was the image that was used as big form, high resolution for the hit piece. And of course, I brought out the colors and I said, you know what? They're killing it. Why is it a bump on the center of the head? It looks like a grave that has been buried. Just been buried. Oh, that bump, a gravestone. Oh, they killed it. They traumatized the head. They're killing and putting to bed, pun intended, the case for the face. Any public discussion. It was never called the face after that day. Only popular. So you see. But can you see what I mean? It looks kind of like a grave, that's just been buried and being covered in that stone. I don't know. At least that's what I'm seeing, because that's how NASA is, especially when I reveal this to you. Boom.
That's an interesting view.
Boom.
Look at that relief. Yeah.
Boom. The top view is obviously the color version. Obviously, the video that would spin around, it would show. I brought out the colors to help you all. Believe me, seeing that obfuscated shit made it even worse. But it helps bring out the details more, at least. Pretty colors indeed. But look at the face. Oh, they try to make it look as natural as possible, not use the surface relief, which is very important in order to show its true, not only shape, but its true details. Look at the one under it. The one under it, it was done with science. It was done by even, again, a program which the expert in this field, the shape from shading, Dr. Mark Carlotto himself. Why didn't NASA use this? Why are they using Surface Splash? Why are they lying? Because obviously, judging by the two, one has to be wrong. Which one looks more sense compared to the detail, guys, gentlemen, than when you look down at it two-dimensionally? Which one makes like it looks more sense? The top, like he just had the shit kicked out of his face, or the bottom, which looks like another research I won't name, but he knows. It's scary.
The what?
Are you scared of what you see on the bottom? Would you choose that the top view that NASA shows is the true shape? Does it make you feel more comfortable to sleep in your bed at night?
No, I mean at this point, I wouldn't even know what I was looking at.
Well, the bottom is obviously, and the top is a side view of the face, three-dimensionally looking from the ground.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is from the bottom of it. Or the top of it, from this view, the bottom of it looks heavily eroded, right? The top picture. It looks like something that perhaps time and some wind have gotten a hold of. The bottom picture looks very much like a jagged mountain peak, like somewhere over in the Pyrenees or in Everest or something. That's all I'm saying. Neither engenders fear or anything in me.
Right.
I just see.
Exactly. The thing
it's
is
interesting that the relief, especially on the bottom. It's interesting to me that whatever I had something larger that seems like it's gotten smaller now. That does appear to be the case. I see something I see signs of erosion, basically, or crumbling or falling with time. I mean, I do see that.
What? Well, on what? Sure. The top or the bottom?
Oh, on both. On both. Look on the bottom. You see how you see like little pieces, right, and crumbles on one side, and then the sharp peaks on the top. Well, those little pieces and crumbles, I mean, where did they come from, if not from the thing itself, right?
All of it, everything that you see, all these details, is art carved, art carved, art carved. No erosion, art carved. Art carved, like the 3D sculpture, all art carved. It has highs, lows. It's a carved structure. Here they tried to hide all these details. Why am I seeing that crap? Is that me? Yes. You can see the relief that this shows, but hardly, and because and they soften it out. They lay it on a wireframe to stretch it out to try to make it look smooth.
So
like
the
it's
bottom you said I see art carved. Show our audience what that means. What does that mean?
Show your audience what that means. It means all these features. Think of it, someone from above shooting a laser down, like a tattooist shooting a laser, carving the shit out of the surface in a three-dimensional view, carving all these lines, all these peaks, all these features. And notice the open mouth, notice the chin, notice the maw. This is not a human. It does not represent humanity. It looks like some type of simian-ish, hominid-ish, saurian. Hey, because if I seen a dude looking like this, you'd either want to kill him or he's out to kill you. I don't give a shit. You know,
Ricardo,
it looks
what
like
do you see? I look.
Here's the eye. Here's the eye.
I
see erosion.
I can't correlate the top image with the face. I can correlate the bottom image with the face, although it reconstructs it completely in my mind as it is being presented here. But I still see a possibility of a face there. It's just, as Gary just said, it seems to be human-like, completely.
Human-esque. It's not human. Look at the maw. Look at the maw above the lips. This is more like apish, like King Kong or King Kong saurian-looking dude.
But to be fair, the other image also looks simiesque. From certain
I put that in the book too. Yeah, it looks like Australopithecus.
It's just
smushed in face. It looks like Australopithecus. I put that in the book too, and it does. But that don't mean NASA's right. They did this to fool you because, like, looking at it from the side during aerobraking, we cannot let these people see the shape of this thing. They wanted to obfuscate it, to squish it, and make it look like shit. You remember? We looked at it. Now, here's the other side.
Yeah, the
open mouth.
The slide. Yeah.
Look at the eye. You can see the pupil in the eye. The maw coming up. Open mouth. From the side views are very important. Look at all these details, the art sculpting details, like the pewter dolls, the pewter 3D sculpting. Think of that, and you can follow all the lines, circles, triangles, squares. There's so much shit here. It's all art carved. You can, like brickwork. Think of giant brickwork. You know, follow this. This is all lines up with the face to the features. It's lined to the foundation and the platform that the face even sits upon. Everything is connected. If this was unnatural or eroded or collapsed, and we're going to get into that too, it's not collapsed, far from it. They used to say this side of the face was collapsed. Bullshit. They didn't know what they're looking at. No offense, guys. But anyway, it's the truth. Look what we're looking at. Follow all the details. It's all that ain't sand and dirt. That ain't. I'm like, what the hell? That looks like sculpted metal. That looks like sculpted metal, and that can last millions of years. And supposedly it has, because also 1976, they didn't remember gentlemen just find a face. They didn't just discover positive signs of present life. What else did they find? Xenon 129. What's Xenon 129, guys?
Tell us.
Nuclear detonations. That can only come, that isotope, from nuclear detonations, weapons, and a supernova. It can't be a supernova. We're still here. We're looking at Mars.
So we could be looking, again, I mean, I think we're bouncing between, are we looking at a melted and destroyed structure or a carving, right?
Well, I don't know. They have different semblances.
proof of radiation, that would have to be from a bomb, right? A nuclear bomb.
That don't. But if it's hard metal, maybe metal and rock, it could withstand those blows. Unless
Yeah.
it was right above. We do have areas in Mare Acidalium where the surface looks melted, not of dirt and stuff, but like melted, like hot metal, and no one was there to
Right.
make it
Now that
marble.
we have
so someone
seen
could
it.
steer it while it's hot to make
We
it
could pull up
shake.
some of those images. Guys, excuse me. I got to take a body break. I'll be right back. I had 2 cups
All right.
of coffee. Keep going.
Hopefully it ain't me.
And Gary, let me just make you a question. Can you
Yes.
just stop your sharing so I can put something on screen and make you a question?
I should be able to come back to this, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
All right, stop sharing.
Okay, let me just share this. Oh, I have to have it. I have to have it open.
Hopefully, you people are learning and enjoying this. I love it. I love it. I mean, this is the greatest techno signature ever found in space. It's a techno signature, no doubts about it. Mount Rushmore, times a million.
So this was my first contact with the face.
As everyone else is, right?
Right.
With all the graininess, the spots that aren't really in the image, all
the
that's
spots
an
that are
unprocessed
not
image.
there, the spots are not there, and so on.
Right.
And if I remove the spot that looks like a nostril,
Right, that's a dot. That's not actually there.
that's
though.
not a
There is-
nostril, that's a dot.
There is a rounded thing
I-
there in that spot, but that's
can-
not it.
I can see the same simian face that we see on more modern images.
Correct, Simeon.
How-
That's the correct. That's Abe Kong, Simiish.
Yeah.
But it looks. I don't know.
However, considering that the light is coming from here,
Correct.
the way that the eye is shaped still looks better than any other of the other photos. However, I understand that this darkness might
Well,
be
that's
being
that's because of the shadow.
might
What
be
we-
complemented
The bottom
by-
of what we look
yeah.
at on the eye.
by dots too, right? But I always thought that this side of the face.
Must have been the
Was-
same.
No, I thought that somehow, yes, must have been the same at originally, but somehow by influence of water or sand, because there is not enough wind to cause erosion on Mars, at least at this scale.
You want to
but-
know something else, Ricardo? Look at this image.
I'm
What-
gonna stop the sharing and pass it back to you.
All right, look at that image. Or can you share that again? I want to bring
Of course.
share that again. I want to bring up an important point that many of you who are old enough would remember.
I have to open it here. Yes, now I can share it. Share screen window.
Because remember, that image was in 1976.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
But it looks
Another-
so smooth. The lines look so
that,
smooth.
you know why? There's details in all that, but it's obfuscated by all the white covering up all those
Of course,
lines.
I don't doubt it. Yes.
Now here's the thing. This was an iconic image, obviously 1976. There was another iconic event the following year in a movie called Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go to net real quick, pull up a picture of the Stormtrooper's helmet?
Yes. I have
I think you see where I'm going. Everyone.
Yeah, I
Keep
see.
that
See,
in
I
your
see.
head.
Let me
Keep
before
that vision
before I
up.
go
A year
there.
later,
This
What are the odds?
let me see if I this. Do you know of this image?
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to talk about that tonight.
Okay,
That's
okay.
known as the king face. We still have a lot more images, so hopefully you guys are patient with me with time, or make it a special, because I want to wow your people, and you. But you've already kind of had a witness sides of some already. Let's put it this way, Ricardo. When you want to kick my ass out of here, just say so. All right, but if you can find a picture, and
I'm doing it.
all right, yeah, of the stormtrooper helmet looking at you, and then remember who created that movie? George Lucas.
George Lucas.
What did he know? When did he know it? Because remember that Star Wars came out a year later. Probably not even, about a year later. 1977. I was 7 years old. I remember going to the movies watching that.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen.
Yeah, I'm an old fuck anyway.
Uh,
That's why I gotta have red and black here.
Guys, forgive me. I've got you. I'm following along with the story, but
Boom.
I've gotta catch my dog. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, yeah. Hopefully you won't get hurt. Go get them. I love doggies. I got 9 of them, bro, and they're my family. They're my kids. All right, look at that. Now you said that, like the shadowed side, you would think is like the other one. Look at the mouth. Does that look familiar?
yeah, it
That
does.
looks
It
like
does.
it's a Cydonia. Look at that eye, how deep black it is in the socket. Look at the line that goes straight across on top. Look at the side, the side of the helmet where it has those ridges in the helmet. You can't make this shit up. And they didn't. They didn't. They used the face of Cydonia to make the stormtroopers' helmets. Tell me that don't look like, if you could put the face of, maybe during another show, say, hey, this is what this crazy guy said and he meant. Put this picture next to the face you just showed me, and then say, well, you can't deny it looks similar, right? I mean, look at the mouth, look at the eye, all white, obfuscated. Boy, this looks like a good idea. This is what the other side of the face must look like. And that's what people were expecting. They weren't expecting also another techno signature of intelligence in linguistic communicative form, because it's not one face. It's 2 faces in one structure. Each side has its own representation as a dominant theme. The side we see this one on, without it being mirrored, is representing, like you said, a hominid type, apish, and I say saurian because it kind of looks scaly. That's because of the relief.
The texture, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously it doesn't represent humankind. It was there and gone. Whoever built it long before human beings were created. We were created by others who also had civilization on this earth as well as elsewhere. Now, is it in the time frame of the Mars scenarios? Maybe, maybe not. Did they originate here indigenously or come from elsewhere? Maybe, maybe not. See, it raises a lot more questions. Everything we find on Earth today that's strange. Ancient aliens, ancient aliens. Yeah, bullshit. And the scripture in the Bible tells us civilization after civilization passeth away, but the earth abideth forever. So you have plenty of time for people to come and go or come be created, and hopefully we get to go. A lot of coming going on here, and it's not all looking that good. We're about on our way out by some people's designs, but at the same token, we are also on the same stepping stone at the edge of the earth, stepping stone, that we're on our way out to space. And whatever's on Mars, like my friend Dr. John Brandenburg said, especially at the scary look.
On this idea that we're on the way out, and to answer Sarah's question, it's vanilla ice cream with some peanut butter.
I love peanut butter. So, can I share screen again, or?
Sure. Go ahead.
But hopefully, did you see, Ricardo, what I mean?
Yeah, I understood.
Why I would say that?
Point. Yes, I perfectly understood your point. Yes.
And hopefully everyone did too. So, now, back to this video. I'm grabbing stills from that video that I showed you, right? That I showed you is from, of that head-on image with the color, the bump on the head. Yeah. Now I'm gonna use, took grabs from that to show you, to match it up with the same similar views from the true shape of the face, rendered views from shape from shading on what that looks like, and you could tell the difference and appreciate more what we see two-dimensionally. And now, as we spin around, that's the bottom chin area. Notice the big difference. Notice how NASA tries to, stretch it out, make it look as smooth as possible, try to make it look like dusty erosion and all that shit. But down here, you're like, what the fuck? It's all carved. You can see the artwork. You can see all the details, how everything you see here, leaving the face, goes to all these other features that are entirely carved around it. You can't have one existing without the other. You can't have the face without the artscape. You can't have the artscape without the face because they're fused together artistically. So if there was any natural disasters or anything, we would see a breakup. That's why I tried to make the analogy of a tattoo and a cat scratching the living shit out of it, ruining it, scarring it up. You know, an event and happened there, it ain't gonna look the same, right? But with this art, you can see the continuation. So there goes that theory of the naturalists. But it, again, was still spinning around. Not even close. What a wireframe splash screen. Surface splash, rather. Look at that.
And what is the source of this side
The one on the
view
bottom?
of the Mars of the
The one
face?
on the bottom? The one on the bottom?
Any of them? What is the source?
Well, the top one is the source from NASA that they used in the hit piece in a little video of it spinning around of the color image, trying to tell us and convince us that's the true shape of the face, and they tried to say it's just a mountain.
What are you calling the hit piece? You keep just for the audience, because and for me, you keep saying the hit piece. You mean
In
where they were trying to get us to
2007.
quit calling it a face?
All right, in 2007, they put out a scientific article announcement using ESA to show their Mars-faced Cydonia data, but not say anything. But NASA took control of the wording to use both of their data and this false 3D perspective view data, trying to make you believe that's the true shape of the face. It's a mountain. It's a massive. It's not a face at all. But yet, when you use real science, look under it. And that's what they are fearing. It's the shape. Like I said, they're looking in at the side at the beginning, arrow breaking. Why? It has to do something with the shape. They don't want us to see the shape. So this is it. This is how it truly is. I mean, you can more points of interest because the features in the data, but you can tell definitely where they completely differ. The features are the features. It'll look any shape you want it if you make a wire frame and slap the image on it, and you could make it look smooth or whatever, soften the colors, soften the relief. I have to dig through the data, the raw data, to bring out the relief that NASA's hiding. There's another. So as the video's spinning around, so I'm
We all
just trying to.
remember that Mars used to have a red sky, and all of a sudden, oops, it's blue.
Yeah, it's blue. They lied to us there too. And it was Dr. Gillivan's son back in the Viking days who kept adjusting the color gain back to blue like it originally shown, and they bitched at his father, Dr. Gillivan, about it. Because they wanted it to look red. They lie. They lie. Look, make it look red. Look how it looked yellow and everything. To hide what? Look at all these colors. Look at all, and that's just on the face, but it covers everywhere else and everything else. So now notice this view that they gave us in 2007. Now here's the view from Google Mars, Google Earth, Google Mars, which NASA tells them they have to use their data. What happened? Oh, I get it. The face of the shape of the face changes over a couple years. I get it. Wow, and yet you still have the image relief seen in the data. Boy, the image relief doesn't change, but the size of the fucking thing does. The shape of it does. This one looks more retarded than this guy. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, so it's like when you compare them.
A lot over time. There's no doubt about that. It does.
No.
Images.
Not if it's carved solid metal or some strong ass rock, maybe mixed with metal that has been art carved to last for millions of years. No, it ain't gonna be edged down. It could be covered with dust. The dust storms that are on Mars, they're not sandstorms. Earth has sandstorms. Mars has dust storms. What kind of dust storms? Iron oxide, rust, heavy metal. So, which also produces electricity. They should have put something on board the landers, I said, like Opportunity and Spirit. So as the dust storms go over it, it could trickle charge the rovers. But what am I? I'm just a nut, and I'm not a scientist. But anyway, this is the true shape.
I think what Jason was trying to say is they have changed the face further and further each time they revealed new photos. They were going further and further away from the original image.
Well, he's right. They try to obfuscate. Look, they can't even get the shape of the face right. And there's multiple examples in the book, The Faces of Mars, Beyond Mere Tricks of Light and Shadow. If you guys get that, you'll see examples of that. I make my case because why? We got them cold busted. They're busted. Done by a lowlife from New York. You shouldn't have lied to me. You shouldn't have lied to me, and you shouldn't have put out the data for someone to figure it out.
No,
So
that
they don't
energy
teach
is
they
some
don't teach you
energy
this
I
in
like.
college. They don't
You
teach you
shouldn't
this
have
in
lied
college.
to me. That
Yeah,
that's why
Yeah,
Gary's here. He got lied to, isn't it?
that's why you need a shaman and a philosopher to bring this shit to you.
I got
Right?
lied to. I got lied to too, Gary. We all did, and that's what I'm calling out there, bro.
So here's a perspective view from a different angle of the two sides, right? From each side. Look at this one. Look between the mouth that's on the ground. This thing is purposely set. What do you see? Between the mouth,
Teeth?
You
Is that
see
what
a-
you say?
you see a spiky pyramid-y thing, don't you?
Yeah, I do see. Right, the pyramid
Right
there.
here. That's not on the face. That's on the surface away from the face because of the angle of the image, like here, right? So it shows a face now, right in the middle. I'm convinced because as in the animation, it would go from here exactly to line up to this as it moves, depending which way it's moving, and it would line up exactly with this one as it moves. I think it might even determine the solstice, but that's me. I'm a nut. But look who's making the case based on what? Data. Prove me wrong.
So
All right.
The
Well,
little
there we
point,
got.
if I look in the image up above, I see a point at
Oh.
the bottom. Is that the
This
point you're
here-
saying is behind? Yeah.
This here
Right. And then
is
that
this
there?
here.
Yeah, I just making sure I was with you. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So isn't that incredible? That
It is.
doesn't mean that. To me, that's also another techno signature that they all love to look at here on Earth. Oh, the solstice. It has to be. Let's look into the solstice. It was a temple. They were worshiping. Oh, get the fuck out of here. They had an astronomical knowledge with the intent of observational times of the year, yes. But it doesn't mean, they were hunter-gatherers, sticks and stones, bones in your nose, feathers in your ass, and yet you can build these beautiful get the hell, they think we're stupid. Now, is it from Earth? Maybe. Is it from space? Maybe. Is there enough evidence to say it's ancient aliens? No. More data, more input needs. Though, the sides have their cases on the notepad like it's a detective. That's fine, and it should be. But it makes more questions. But they want us to go like in a cult-like belief that is something. That's dangerous. That's how you got Islam. So, now this is from a MRO context image. Believe this or not. Hey guys, what do you see? Do you see anything? No. Oh, why? I don't know. Well, ask NASA. This is how they release the images of
I
the
don't
face.
see anything through these tears of laughter. I don't.
No, they release every face in MRO context imagery that we've got. We got like 15 to 17 of them now, gentlemen. Over the years. Now, I don't say that lightly. Oh boy, I don't. So, but look at all the obfuscation, all the white. And notice how soft. You can see the relief if you're real good and you're already trained kind of to the artscape. You can see the features, but faintly. They soften it. They contrast it so they can keep, keep the guessing game going.
It's clearly overexposed. Anyone that understands photography understands
All
it's
right, there you go.
overexposed.
I work with images, and yet I'm trying to explain that, and I could have said it that simple. Again, I'm not the smartest guy on the earth, again, but yet it's me that's giving you this. What's wrong with this picture, everybody? Oh, you think NASA gives you this? You go to the link page where that image comes from? This is what you get. You would think this comes from me, but this is what comes from me. What is the problem? I mean, it is as funny. It's so fucked up.
That's good.
Would you agree, gentlemen, that this should be what you see from NASA? Not me? That's what makes it more complex.
Very well
And
said.
notice all the details. Again, you can see all the relief details. I'm bringing them out. I'm bringing them out, and I'm getting better at it.
Well, NASA, if you don't know how to do this, please contact Gary. He teach you. Just hire him, and he'll teach you how to do
NASA,
it.
you got the wrong fucking guy. That's for sure.
They'll never do that. You know why? What's my name? Mars Revealer. What's their name? Not a science agency. You get it? You see what and never mind, never a straight answer. All right,
It's
so
not.
they're doing it. They're doing this shit to hide it from you.
Not a
Oh,
science
this
agency.
is your taxpaying dollars, everyone.
Straight answer.
This is supposed to be the people's camera. It's our images because we paid for it. Look it up, Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. The people's camera. They're sticking the middle finger up at us. This is what they give us, and here's what I give you from their own data. What's the problem here, Houston? I really want to know. Right?
It's true. It's like the Epstein files dumps, and then all these dudes that have to generate all these AI bots to go in there and tell us what it all actually says.
But is it me or
fair
look at the
point.
image? Look at the image real quick. Right? Take it 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, look at it. Would you prefer this? From a NASA release, you just go to a website, pretend you just open one, you see this, holy shit, what the hell is this? Or do you feel more comfortable with that as being, I'd rather see
That
this.
that is a photo that anyone would either edit and take the overexposure out, or take another photo, please, because you fucked up on that one.
That's why the raw data is there. You could do that. But you have to do it. Why are we paying them to do it? They're obfuscating. They're lying to us. Not only are they lying to us about the details, obviously they don't want us to see because they can't answer it. Too many alien markings, everyone. You'll learn about that in the book. But notice it's called obfuscation. That deliberately obfuscating. And so they give us that. They lie to us about the shape of the face. They lie to us about the details. All right, crisp image. This is what you expect from a $1 billion orbiter. We the people, yeah, the people's camera, the people's images. And yet you're saying, fuck you, people. And I'm saying, fuck you, NASA.
And by the way, this is the time that I say, if anyone wants to go and check out the books and the material from Gary, it's all in the description of the video. You can find all the links there to find his work.
Well, hopefully I'm not going too wild, offensive. You know, you can edit me out, or well,
No, we don't. We don't edit, bro. We're all live, and you're not.
I
You're
feel
doing great.
comfortable with
This
you guys. I think you guys get me. I think you
No,
guys
you're
get
being-
me. Now,
I do.
This is
you're,
just
you're,
image.
you're being hilarious, and I see in front of me you're exhibiting just fine. What happens
appreciate that.
when a citizen gets lied to by a government agency or a government or a leadership or anybody who is supposedly in charge of handling the truth and getting it to you and is being paid for that and elected for that? And what we see, you know, in your energy, I think, is an energy many of us have right now towards leadership. It's just being expressed quite well and quite hilariously by you, dude. So
There's a Starship Trooper. You joined the two sides into one. You duplicated the side and inverted it and placed it there.
Because, like I said earlier, it's not just an archaeological
Symmetry.
art sculpted piece of work. There is an artistic communicational symbol, techno signature that communicates in a communicative form, in a visual form, using it's called split art language. You've had George Haas on, I think, right? So he might have explained this to you some, like the ancient Maya art. Now, to me, if there's a connection to Mars and Earth, symbolically, linguistically, it would be in the hieroglyphics like that, because you have split faces, half human or half cat, half skull, half ape, or whatever, you know, feline and hominid, right? Split. The Sphinx of Egypt as one representation and a different symbolic visual form stating the same thing, the 2 and 1, right? So this is kind of this is what we're definitely dealing with here, because again, here's the same image and this was released, not the last release we got of the phase early a few weeks ago, but like a couple months back. So this is when you split it. Tell me, you know, I see an ape like, wow, Cornelius Kongish looking face, pharaonic type individual, potential saurian with it. I don't know, maybe because of all the art in the relief, kind of looks like scales. So maybe there was a scaly gorilla running around.
What happens if you turn the image upside down?
Oh shit! Man, you know what? I have those pictures to show that, but I didn't think that would come up. But this way looks more like it makes more sense and good. And the other way, if I could do that here now, I would. I don't know this program very well.
Oh,
and I
you
don't
just click at it on the top left and rotate the image. Oh no, you don't. You could do it right there.
Yeah, oh man.
You could do it right there.
How the hell do I rotate?
Okay, now at the bottom, you see the bottom.
Yeah.
The last button that has an arrow up and an arrow down.
Obviously, you know this photo program. I don't use this. I use other graphic
Can
programs.
you zoom in? Can you zoom in again?
How the hell do I do that again?
You have to save it under another name. Put save
Oh,
as.
no, I'm not going through all that now. I'll zoom into it like
Oh, there you can zoom it. Okay, that's good.
it's
Looks
not
like
that.
a butterfly effect or something on there.
I don't know. It kind of looks like an alien head. The two big eyes there. That also look like has pupils. You know.
There's two species collaborating together. If I had to speculate, there
Now,
are
how
two
do I get
species on the
back?
same- Now it just closed without saving.
How do I close without saving? Oh, maybe this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a Bigfoot. Duh. Thank you, Amy.
All right, Bigfoot. Now look at the next one. The other side.
Mirror the other side, says Mean Green MP3.
Yeah, mean green. There you go, brother. There it is. What do you guys see? Take a couple minutes, pack them, smoke them.
A lion.
It's very interesting. What?
Lion.
Exactly. On another planet, we have a hominid, what we can see. Oh, I guess it's not a mimetolith after all. Must not be pareidolia because it's making us two faces in one, which each happen to look like something we as humanity today can recognize. It's not something long and extinct, not something that we wouldn't be familiar with, so we wouldn't know what the fuck to call it. Right? So one looks like a hominid, the other looks like a lion. So obviously, what does that tell you?
Well, I mean, if you really want me to go out on a limb and start telling you what I see, yes, I could see two things on the outside that look like ears. And yes, Ricardo, I see down at the bottom, you see what could look like a feline nose or mouth.
Yeah,
but right
exactly.
where you see what looks like could be a feline nose or mouth, I also see the face of a raccoon. Now, if I look straight up from that, the raccoon seems to have some sort of weird crown on it. That would make what you call that. I'm not done.
There.
That would make what the arms of what you call the feline face actually arms. Okay, follow me now, coming out. Then in between the arms, in the middle of the face, we've got a guy with like a triangular or an arrow pointed little face, and a big crown shooting out from him like he's some sort of warped video game monster beating up a raccoon there between his two fists.
Yeah, and I see a spider right beneath the nose.
Yeah.
Remember the fascination with totem
Look,
poles?
he's got the raccoon by the...
Remember the fascination with totem poles? Yeah. Think of like the center being like also total polic form. Damn it, of something maybe. I'm just throwing ideas. I'm not the Martian madness that created this. I'm just studying it and trying to make shit out of it. But it has a dominant theme of a lion looking at you. Its big nose, its mouth, its whiskers, potentially its eyes, its mane. But yet, like you said, there's other things to be seen. Like here could look like a kitty. You brought up a raccoon. Is this the area you're talking about?
I see. Yeah.
Right here.
So in the right where your mouse was, keep centering in center. Yeah. Okay. Stop. Now go up. Boom. You're sitting on the face of what looks like a little tiny raccoon. Maybe it's got little
right here.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot of things that could be mingled in there, and all potentially thereof.
Yeah,
again, that's why it's
curiosity.
to bring out the relief. Without being able to see the relief, if you look through it, all that over contrasted bullshit, how are you going to see it? You have to work with the data to bring it out. Someone out there that does this, please contact me. You could yell at me, scream at me, or concur with me. But I'm willing and I'm needing that type of love. I'm so lonely. I need someone to do the same shit so we can collaborate and talk on a level.
And Gary, just just for paradolus sake, can you see the spider that I'm seeing beneath the nose? It has the how you call the pencils? Is that how you call it?
I see it. Yeah. No,
No,
down
no,
the bottom.
beneath that. Zoom in that area.
At the bottom.
Zoom in that. Go up a little bit. Okay.
Right there. Right there.
You see the pincers of the spider and the
It could
legs
be like
and
a
the body.
scarab or a spider.
Here's the eye. Here's the eye. A little mouth. Freak out. It looks like a gremlin. Here's the eye.
There's so
It
many
does
things.
kind of
So
look
many
like a
things.
gremlin. doesn't
Maybe
it?
a little gray alien under
I
that.
think now it's the quality of the drug that defines the shape. But
As funny as that is, but yes, that's what's needed. Because it'll help you hone into the relief that it's so important to see that for some reason they don't want us to see the true shape of. They don't want us to see the relief of. Why? Because, oh my God, rats, bats, and spiders, lions, tigers, and bears are my. I mean, yet I'm the one. I'm so horse.
Pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Pay
I'm
attention.
a in pareidolia. I got pareidolia, everybody. You know, bullshit. It's not a human defect that's seeing this. We didn't create it, and they're not revealing it like this. They're obfuscating, they're hiding it. And I'm showing to you what's really there. Because this is what's really there.
Okay,
Multiple
Gary, so
images, multiple image sources.
we're approaching
Now-
our 2-hour mark. Which
Oh,
is usually
crap, really?
Where we usually try to cap it. So anything you've got left you want to highlight, or if you want to tell folks where you're appearing nightly, because this has been quite a show.
I don't appear lightly. I run a show that's
Nightly, yeah.
I run a show now that's in comatose stage, not dead, but I'm still trying to keep it breathing. Other things have to be gained and attained to start back in a serious, consistent manner. So any help, the donations, the cash app tag Morris Revealer, please. Yeah, it'll help. I got a wife with a mess. I got a lot of shit going on, despite the fact having the balls to still do my work and come forth to bring you the truth. So God will bless me if you don't. I don't give a shit. Here's what I care about: the truth and the Martian revelations upon it. And I am its alkalite, allotted, who was not titled that name by man. And I won't explain that this night. I'm the Morris Revealer for a purpose, and that purpose is coming, and we must make our fate. I'll leave it at that. But guys, you know what? I had so much more to get into, but maybe next time, if you will have me back, we could get into all these different structures. And Ricardo, I think you've seen, maybe you too, you've seen videos I've been putting up of various structures. So it's basically showing them again, but letting everyone else get to see it too. And please join my YouTube channel. God, I'm doing horrible there, man. But, it's going to go to the top because, you know what? It's a destination for alien archaeology.
you sure are genuine, and that is priceless. So.
Well, yeah, I just want to show and just get the stuff out there and, be recognized for the work that I do. That's it. Because everyone has a right to be something and accomplish something in life. And I don't see no one else accomplishing it. Well, what I'm trying to accomplish and reveal. I mean, that's it. Only a handful. And, there's so many different avenues, so many prejudices. You wouldn't expect this coming from someone like me. And if you can't get over it, then you're a fucking commie. I don't care what to tell you, because what matters is the data. What matters is the data, because that's the reality they're suppressing from you. Anyone else that's not showing you this, they want you to go to their conferences, do they not? They want you to buy their bullshit, do they not? They will not help out the other guy because they think that you're going to take their seat. Fuck you, too. You are watching me. Yet your excuses are not going to go by, and those that tried to destroy me, take my shit down in order to be on your fucking videos. For what? For you to be in control? You wanting to use me and steal my work? You know who you are. I got it out for you yet, and in time, you're going to be shown as the fraud that you are, and you know who I'm talking about there. But you know what? These guys, it takes a shaman and a philosopher to see through your bullshit.
I don't even
That's
know who
it.
we're talking about, but I know I don't like bullshit. So I definitely am with you there.
I apologize. I did not want to go there. I just got struck that this is the end of the show, and for some reason, in the back of my head, a message had to be sent to a couple motherfuckers. Because the reality is, you're not going to get me out of this work. They don't call me Mad Martian for nothing. And again, it was not man that titled me Mars Revealer. You think that you're going to cut me out of the path of which I am here to do, which is yet to come? I dare you. I'd like to be the scientist watching what will happen to you over time to see that. So,
Mic
hey,
drop.
that just shows us one thing: the Martian revelation is upon us, everybody.
Well,
The
you showed us
Martian
you showed
come
us
forward.
you showed us amazing work today, and since we have
Thank
about
you,
5 minutes, I would like to ask you: do you
I
have any?
apologize.
No, that's fine. Any other image that you consider is shocking? That's just to an appetizer for a future presentation. Any other structure that you find that is unique to you that you
I'll
think
stop
it's
Yeah, I'll stop sharing and I'm gonna zoom ahead because I have them all linked here. I just gotta keep pushing. Oh, come on, go, 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 go. I mean, there's a few things, but there's one in particular, and maybe a little 4-minute video if you don't mind. I think I should show you this one. This is it. Can you guys give me at least 10 minutes?
yeah.
It's a little lot to ask, but you'll see why, and it'll be worth it. Because there's other techno signatures there. There are pyramids. So this will be a teaser for the next shows if everyone would like me back on. And again, I apologize, everyone. Yeah, you don't know the history behind this, behind me and the life and everything I had to go through in order to keep doing this. So please, it's not their fault. Don't yell at them. Send me the cursing emails. Threaten to kick my ass. Leave these guys alone. They were good enough to have me on. Thank you. All right, so let me share screen. God, we could have went for 4 hours, brother. If you ever want to do that, let me know.
Yeah, this is just, it's a lot later than we usually go. I don't mean we usually go at 2 hours, but what I mean is the recording time. And so my own dog is looking at me like he's
No. I
and
understand.
I'm a bit exhausted.
You have a format. I understand.
Yeah, we try to hold to that 2 hour
Right.
format, and yeah. So that's
Do you
all.
see
Man.
this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this thing, what do you guys see? I'm not going to tell you what to see. I'm going to ask if you guys, it should be obvious.
I see something that could be a pyramid on the left with a causeway. And to the right is a depression. Is it a bowl or a mountain? It's a bowl.
Well, most would say it's a crater, but it's a pyramid crater, but which is at the south end, right here. And there's many pyramid craters.
We've seen a
on
lot
Mars.
of we've seen a lot of craters with what look like pyramid shapes next to them. It's very
And not only
odd.
that,
I mean,
look
there's
inside
doubt
this
there's
little-
questions there.
Right. And look inside the so-called crater. It looks like a bunch of cells, like a bunch of rooms. Like, think of buildings collapsed laying on each other. I'm not saying this is. Think of how that would look with like all their windows and showing. But a lot of cells and windows. Whatever this is, something's going on here. That ain't natural. But anyway, let me go to the next one.
Well, in technological terms, it would be better to construct inside the crater, especially if it's a deep one, than on the surface.
And or if you even had a dome over the damn thing.
Sure, of course.
So, but here's a Mars Odyssey view. This is a MRO CTX view.
That pyramid is whatever it is, natural or non-natural. It has craters on it. It's
Notice
that big.
Notice the even spacing on the arm.
Yeah.
going.
Yes.
All right. Now, yes, this thing's big. We're going to show that. Here's a Mars Odyssey image. Very incredible. Good detail, especially for Mars Odyssey. There's another lower resolution Mars Odyssey with lighting come from a different angle. And you can see the ass end of the pyramid crater here. That's part of the structure. Now, there's a Mars Express view of it. There's another Mars Express view of it, casting a shadow So look at the pointy feature. Look, that looks very pyramidal. Secondary, proof. Thank you, NASA. Or, well, Germany too, ESA, because it was them that gave us the shadow. Now this thing is 2 miles wide. So just about a little smaller than the DMM pyramid. So this is 2 miles wide. From corner to corner, 2.5 miles. The other corner up the arm to the bottom of the pyramid, 3.5 miles. Now, here's a video of it. It'll spin around. Do I let it go? No, not all the way to the end, but it'll spin around a while. Hopefully, you guys see this more full screen, because I could pause, stop, and you could. And I have these on my YouTube channel, my BitChute. So when you do see these things, the images are also crisper. I bring out the details more. This is from the original render, okay? The ones in my videos, you're going to see more detail and appreciate better. But I just want to show you all this. So you can see it spin around, and you see the ass end of that. It looks like a structure there at the edge of that crater.
Yeah. It's very anomalous.
Yes, it does.
Very anomalous.
Especially look at the back face of this pyramid. All this, it's all geometric. Seamed nicely along with the top of this. That looks like it goes all the way up to here.
Yeah, very anomalous, and very anomalous that they repeat. That there's so many of these little triangles next to what look like craters is just that is weird. There's no getting around that question.
And Gary, do you have any idea why we don't find four-sided pyramids? It's most seems to be 5-side, 6-side. Even the eyes you were showing me, the iris was an hexagon and not a circle. You have any idea about that?
You sure you don't want to go 4 hours?
No,
Because again,
we can't. We have 5 minutes now.
I got some three-sided pyramids.
Yes, but never like those that we create here that are four-sided for most of them.
Like on Earth, that's visible and remnant today. No, but that don't mean that's the only thing. A pyramid say, well, that's only triangles. Bullshit. Anything that's a geometric form, especially with a high form,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying
that could be a pyramid. Well, I know you know that, but there are people that will argue and tell me bullcrap. But yet that means these guys will have high thinking. Look over here. Again, it looks kind of triangular here. You got some geometry. There's definitely a pyramid crater next to a pyramid. So we're almost halfway through this video, but this is a taste of what I was going to bring tonight. But maybe we could do it another time. But if you click on my links to my BitChute and my YouTube page, please subscribe and like or leave comments. Curse me out if you want. Argue, whatever. What do you think you're seeing? Oh, contraire. Prove me wrong. But give your opinions. Do you think at least that you can see where I'm coming from? Why we're presenting what I'm saying about it?
Well, Gary, sometimes a contrary opinion shows us things that we haven't seen. It doesn't mean that it will change our opinion, but it can bring information. Even when it's trying to dismiss it, we can take some information sometimes from
right, because there are those that want to dismiss it because it breaks their paradigm thought. Many people like to think that we're the center of the universe. We're the most advanced at an advanced point anyone has ever had a technology. We think we're the most advanced being, and bullshit. That's all I'll say, but that's a different battle. We're dealing here.
I think you bring us to a good ending point, Gary, because it does tie into much of what our usual work. My work centers around, Mabilla. Okay, so native civilization, which I think existed at a higher form of consciousness and communion with nature than we currently do, anyway. But also, I do work with antediluvian structures, I believe, that I found that have been destroyed here on Earth. So what we're dealing with there is what I think is part of what holds up the matrix and the cultural construct, which we all find ourselves struggling under today, whichever narrative it is, be it in politics, government, history, Mars, whatever, right, is the fact that we are being told that we're at the high point, right? How do you get everybody to take an injection? How do you get everybody to spend money on medicine that doesn't actually work? You convince them that this is the high point, that we are the experts, right? But if we listen to the ancient texts, if we listen to everything from the Bible to the Indian, to if we listen to the native stories, to all the ancient texts, they all tell us there was a previous time, time that was
More
higher,
Barata,
and things didn't go quite so well, right? And there was a destruction, and now we're in that lower iteration. So
and there were periods of destruction, different destructions.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily all mean the one civilization these stories are attributed to, but they
Yeah.
kind of have a kind of similar theme, don't they? You know,
Yeah.
so I think that's a cosmic understanding. It don't make me want to go kill my neighbors, knowing the truth of this shit. Like Brookings would fear that, oh my God, I want to kill his neighbors, eat his dog, and destroy civilization over the knowledge that there's Martians. Well, like my friend Dr. John Brandenburg said, there's nothing to fear there.
No,
Why?
that's a lie. They don't keep us away from disclosure because they're afraid we'll all go crazy. That's not correct. Because disclosure will actually not do that. I myself am a believer in a single creator God. I followed a roadmap set out by Christ to get to where I am, to this shamanic point, right? I see him as a shaman, right? So don't go ahead and get me started on the buffoonery that's afoot right at the top, man.
I don't want to be a party crasher, but let me explain further to our audience, into Gary, why we need to stay close to 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, or 2 hours, because all of our shows are going to the future, already being created TV channel from the Institute for Natural Philosophy. And so if we start making uneven numbers, it will screw our programming, because
Which means you try to edit. I'll leave it then. I'll leave it then with a TV.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Look at this one. I'll leave that picture there. Till next time. Or
Beautiful.
again, go to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, everyone. Leave
Everybody,
comments.
please go find Gary at Mars Revealer. Go see some of this cool stuff. It looks like we were just getting to at the end that shows some exceptional work on his part.
I'm sorry about the outburst, man, but the message had to be sent. Who I know is
Brother,
watching.
not everyone is used to.
And you haven't seen nothing.
You're fine, man. Not everybody is whatever, is used
Gary,
to communicating and all these other things, but your work stands, and I like, it's very cool what I'm seeing from you, and I want folks to go see and support
Absolutely.
you, dude. And we had a lot of fun. We laughed a heck of a lot tonight. So, and we harped on, even though energetically we did harp on many, many true points about the state of the world we live in, bro. And we've all been lied to. And it breaks my heart every time I really think about it, right? So to see anger on your part, is not shocking to me, right? Because no matter what angle or part of modern society I look at, Gary, I see somebody that's been lied to. I see people that are being taken advantage of and used by a system that doesn't particularly care for them,
and by others.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
and with
that.
we're gonna hopefully send
Gary.
everybody your way and say goodnight.
Gary, put your book on screen and tell everybody where they can find you once more, and Jason will give the final statement for us to close this.
All right.
And don't go away after we close. Just
If you are an independent artist, activist, communicator, what have you, anything like the three nut bars you have seen on this screen in front of you talking about these various topics which are hidden from public view generally, if you have information which you feel has reached backlash from the mainstream and you believe is important to the whole, reach out to us at the Institute of Natural Philosophy. It's kind of our thing. It's what we do. We want to talk to you. We got a lot of cool stuff going on, as Ricardo was just alluding to, and as you'll see soon in the future. Meanwhile, at the Shaman and the Philosopher, we're going to take a little break. I hope we're taking at least a few days off. We've been at it nearly every day this week. We're also transitioning to a format to where we're not going to have as many guests. We're going to try to focus more on Ricardo's work, my work, and presenting that, and then bringing the guests around the round table, which is...
yeah, because we're going to have guests on the level of Sir Lee Pennington and Rick Osman, and so we need their company to keep up.
Well,
So-
we've got that show, right, which is our Friday show, and I'm speaking strictly on, our show. We need to start showing some of our own work so we can sit around that table with those dudes that have done
No,
so
that's
much.
what I'm saying. We're going to have guests, but on that show. So we're
Right.
going to have
Right.
those kind of
We've
special
got,
people that have 50, 60 years of work in their fields.
We've already got Heather Arnold lined up as our first female guest over there to come talk Giants on, I think, Friday the 13th, March the 13th. So everybody look for that. And we're screwing up our timing, but we appreciate everyone who came along and watched in the chat. We appreciate everyone who watched in the future and is seeing us on pixelated little screens. Not really there for you, but we're there for you in spirit, and we're glad you're there for us. And we'll see you down the road on this journey. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Gary, for coming and sharing your material.
Thank you guys,
Everybody
rock,
enjoyed.
and hopefully you'll have me back again. Good night, everyone.
Good
The
night. Don't
Martian
go away.
Revelation is upon us now.
So we're very